What is it with audiophiles and cables? They buy the biggest, heaviest, most expensive, ridiculously overpriced snake oil cables, and then they proceed to break the connectors on their equipment because the RCA connections are so tight. They cinch down, and then when you try to remove them or insert them, you end up breaking the connector. And that's exactly what happened on this Blue Audio, very expensive streaming box. Let's check it out. This is a Bluesound media player, and this came in from one of my neighbors who's kind of a bit of an audiophile and, buys $200 patch cables and so forth, and believes that that the snake oil that they've been sold, it will actually improve the sound. And well, the problem with a lot of these fancy audio cables is, well, they're so heavy that they cause other problems, like broken connectors. In this case, that's exactly what's happened. He was using the cinch type RCA connectors, the ones you have to kind of turn, and then they cinch down, and he broke one of the connectors off the back here. So he's asked me if I can try to fix it for him. I don't know what he paid for this thing, but whatever it was too much. It's kind of heavy. It's got a built-in power supply, which most of them don't. Most of them use an external supply. This one is built in. But this has got that rubberized coating that's going to turn all sticky. And I can already feel it. The stuff I'm talking about, right? The stuff that goes. That's what this has got on it. I have no idea how to get into this thing. I have to figure out how to get it apart so that I can see if I can fix that connector that he's managed to dislodge from the circuit board. You can see it's loose here. But I don't know how to get into this thing at the moment, so I have to do a bit of research to see how to pry this thing apart. I get a feeling it's probably just pops on. But how? Maybe there's screws in here. Maybe there's hidden screws, but I don't see any place where they would be. Well, that comes off. Oh, okay. There are some screws in here. Well, there's how you get into this. This is just, I think it's magnetic that holds that in place. That feels magnetic. There's magnets in here. You see? Hold the screwdriver. So the back is held on magnetically. And now I can pull these screws, and I should get into the unit. So let's do that. Here's the kicker. He could have got just as good a sound and all the same features from one of the Arlic streamers that I've done many reviews on. The preamp. Some of them got built-in amplifiers. Others are just preamps. But it'll do everything that this will do. You can go to any of the subscription services, play any radio station in the world at a fraction of what one of these things cost. We don't have to worry about losing the screws. They'll just stick to the magnets. Yeah, don't stack your cassette tapes on top of this. As if anybody even uses cassette tapes anymore. Now, someone seems to think one of these tapes is worth $115, and there's probably someone dumb enough to buy it. Okay, those screws are out. Does this cover lift off? This should lift out of here. There's the magnets. Okay, now we can lift the top cover off it and the bottom. It should lift off now, like that. We are tethered down. Now we're into the circuit board, which is what I need to get to try to fix this connector that's been broken from abuse. Definitely abuse. Over tightening connectors. At work, when I get sent out to repair fiber optic that someone's broken in their house, they get charged like $200 for me to go out there and splice it. What do you bet I have trouble getting $50 for this repair? I'm surprised over the years that there wasn't class action lawsuits against companies like Monster Cable that produced these huge, thick cables which did nothing but break connectors, break HDMI connectors, and break firewire connectors and everything else that they broke. I'm surprised that people didn't sue the company for the damages they caused, because they were significant. back in the day. Okay, lift this out, unplug the power supply from here so that I can get the board out of here. Now I have no way to test this because I don't have the controller or anything for it. There's another connector on the back. Oh, this is why it's heavy. It's got a big piece of steel in the bottom, you know. It's actually got several pieces of steel in the bottom, you know, to give it weight so that, you know, so they can charge a premium and say, look at how premium product, this thing here probably weighs 5 pounds. Look at this. Big sheets of, I should give it back. I should take this out and give it back to him without this. He'll say, hey, my unit lost weight. All right, where is it broken? I can see the connector is broken here. It's loose. Where is it snapped? Is it snapped on the top? It's broken, that's for sure. They glue these connectors in place so you can't remove them. Look at this one here, right? They glued that one down so you can't remove it. I think it can be removed on this side. And then the antennas for the Wi-Fi. I guess one's for Wi-Fi and one's for Bluetooth. Probably how it's set up. Okay, so let's measure continuity. I got my meter. I've got a couple cords plugged in here. So we've got these two inputs. Those would be the hot and these are the ground. So let's just check the hots first. So white. And that one, I've got continuity there. Let's check the ground connection for that one, which is the outside here. And that one's good. Okay, let's check the red one. Red one is, and the shield. So we got continuity there. We got continuity. Why did I not have continuity when I had that cable plugged in? That is weird. Like, I'm measuring continuity. I have no continuity. I got no continuity there. What the hell's going on? When I plug it into this one, I got continuity. I got nothing on this one. Where is that connector broken? I got it here, but I don't got it there. So that connector has been broken. It's probably been twisted off. That's probably what's happened when he was cinching these things. They caused it to spin. Oh yes, that's exactly what's happened. He's managed to break the connector right here. That should not turn. Notice that my camera goes out of focus. That was very sharp. If you look at this, this should not turn, and yet it does. You can see it right here. He's broken the internal connection on the plug. So I guess I need to reconnect that. That shouldn't be too difficult. I should be able to get a piece of wire in here, right into here, solder a piece of wire on there, and maybe just run it down to the bottom side of the board where I can solder it down to the board. The problem is he's going to go back, you know what's going to happen, right? He's going to go back and he's going to use those same stupid cables, even though I'm going to tell him they're a piece of shit, don't use them. He's going to go back and use them. I fixed one of his monster cables for him a while back. The ones that he had broken the ends on. And in fact, I just fixed them again for him because he managed to break them again because he plugs and unplugs stuff all the time. And I keep telling him, do not, these monster cables that you're spending all this ridiculous amount of money buying, thinking it's going to improve your sound. The guy's like in his 70s. I don't think he can hear, probably can't hear anything above 10 kilohertz anyway, but he's spending all this money on cables that will presumably give him better sound. Anyway, he proceeded to break the cable again. I had to fix it for him a second time. I'm going to fix this thing, and he's going to. I'm sure he'll figure out a way to break this again. Guaranteed, he will figure out a way to break this. But anyway, let me just get the soldering iron warmed up, and we'll fix this up. One thing we'll notice is that internally they're connected together. Right, that one's open. Right, this one here, I'll get. They're all the grounds are connected together. There's nothing special about this. Just this one's open. So what I can do is on the top side of the board here, rather than run wires around to the bottom, if I take a piece of wire, you'll notice that on here, this is the wire coming through, and that one's open. So all I need to do is basically just get a piece of wire from here and run it around over to here. Piece of bare wire, solder it on there, that will provide me the ground that I need. Thought I was losing my mind there when it's cable, because it's not bad. I thought it was, but no, it's not. It's okay. Anyway, letting the soldering iron warm up here. We'll get a piece of wire and we'll fix this up, and hopefully I won't have to deal with it again. Hopefully he won't break it again. Chances are he will, but and then I'll give him a price. I'll tell him, oh, it's $100 to fix this thing, and he'll pull out a couple 20s and say, here's $40 for it, right? The cables, when I fixed the cables before for him, I told him $20 the first time, and he hands me 10, because that's just the way this guy is. I think that like he says, the infrared receiver on the front there. I was looking at this. Anyway, such is life for a starving electronics tech. Yeah, there's no money in this business anymore, right? There hasn't been for years. Those of us that still do this basically do it because it's kind of a hobby. Gives us something to do in our spare time, right? But certainly we're not making any money fixing this stuff. Alright, that should fix the grounding problem. Get the meter back in that continuity mode and just measure between the grounds. We're good. Okay, time to put the board back into the chassis, into the base that's weighed down just to make it feel more expensive. I shouldn't say make it feel more expensive, make it more expensive. Because you know that they're charging per ounce on these things, right? Per gram. You get a couple grams heavier, that's worth another $100.
And I'm dead serious when I say that. Right? You have two identical units, one weighs significantly more than the other, and then the sales department would hype that one up, saying, "Look, it's got a heavier transformer in it. It's better built. It's worth more money." And in this case, no, it's not. It's just some metal steel sheets in the bottom.
And that gets the board back into its correct position, and I can put the screws in now. and reassemble the unit. And I can't test it, but I think everything should be fine. It worked other than the broken connector when it was brought in, so I'm pretty confident that that will resolve his issue here, hopefully.
I just scored 45 CDRs and 15 CDRW discs for my Tascam recorder. $10.
Should get him to bring his power cord and remote over, and we'll test it here before he takes it. Therefore, I can prove to him it's working, but he probably won't. And then we put this front piece on. Now this, did I get that plug in? I think I did. I better double check that, make sure that the pin's seated back here. They should have. And yes, everything is seated correctly. I just flipped it over and double checked it. That's just for the headphone plug on the front. This just goes on like that. It clips in. Gotta get the clips in place, and it will sandwich together. Snake oil. I tell you, what people will pay for some of this stuff is just ridiculous. I was working over at a woman's place there, I guess probably a couple of years ago now, just a block or so away from my place, and she was telling me about her Moon Audio. Now, I got nothing against Moon Audio. They are a high-end boutique audio company based out of Canada. But when she told me how much her streaming receiver costs, I just about fell out of my chair. Had I been sitting in a chair, I would have fallen out of it. Just a stereo receiver. I didn't even think it was a receiver. It didn't have a radio or anything. I don't think it was just a streaming box with a built-in amplifier, and about 100 watts per channel or something like that. But just basically a streaming box with a built-in amplifier, and she was telling me that it was like $5,800. That's like, really? $5,800 for basically a glorified MP3 player. Is basically what it boils down to. Yeah, I can receive radio stations. Big deal. So can my Arlic receivers, and they'll receive it just as well. Of course, if you really want to be the life of the party, you can tell your friends you spent $45,000 on a preamp. Just a preamp. Are you kidding? So I went to their website to see some of their toys, and it's like, yeah, okay, this is for people that just want to make a statement that they've got more money than brains. I mean, come on, $80,000 for a power amplifier to go with that $45,000 preamp? Yeah, okay. You've made your statement. And I thought I was bad about 30 years ago when I spent $7,500 on a pair of Polk speakers. Oh, I just had to just squeeze the cabinet together. It popped into place, so now I can take this magnetic piece and stick it on the back there, and it's as good as new. How does it snap in? It goes in from the bottom, I think. Clips in here. The magnets are on the top, along the top here. So this just clips in here and snaps on like that. There you go. Done. Get it back together. Everything's perfect. Just make sure that nothing broke going back together. Yeah, this one's still kind of pushed in a bit. He's gonna have to deal with that. I don't want to try to pull it back. I don't want to break anything. I mean, these are flimsy connectors, and there's not really anything holding them in other than the circuit board that they're soldered down to. So obviously that one there broke somewhere between here and where it connected to the board. Because he was twisting it, he snapped it. So no more twist on RCA connectors. Use real ones that you can get at the dollar store. They'll sound just as good. Thanks for watching.